you are in alignment with our mission to promote integrative healthcare. I was surprised that so many things can actually be part of a dental practice.
There's like a synergy happening where it's starting to integrate with things like material science, regular medicine. There's starting to become a lot of parallels between dentistry and these other specialties in these other fields, where really it's like a synergy. We're being able to integrate other things into this field. It's very exciting.
Today, we'll talk about building a powerful brand for a healthcare practice, the easy way, and why this could be a game changer for you. We will be giving some practical strategies that are easy to implement from the practice owner's perspective. And I'm here with an awesome practice owner, Dr. Collin Steinweg, who is our client, who is our friend, who is my friend, became extended family. He's part of our mission. He is the owner of Clarksville Crossing Dental in Clarksville, Maryland. He's absolutely amazing because he has a really big mission that aligns with our mission. His mission is to bring the future of dentistry to you. So with that mission, Dr. Steinweg, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, of course, my pleasure.
Awesome. You have built a very powerful dental practice, a powerful brand as well. And I really would like people to learn from you and understand your perspective. How do you actually make it possible? To give people context, I want people to understand that our structure, our strategy is always to make healthcare marketing, healthcare branding, business development easy to implement, because business owners, practice owners don't have any extra time. So I wanted to show your perspective, how you can focus on the patient, focus on building the practice instead of focusing on all the details that you don't have to focus on. And because your mission is so big, bringing the future of dentistry to you, I wanted you to share quite a few words about yourself so people can understand where the passion is coming from.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I've always been in a position to build a practice that is very like personalized and unique to me. I've worked for a couple other different dentists in my career, and I found some things that I knew would definitely work for me, and I took a lot of good, information from them. And then there were some other things that I knew I wanted to do differently. And, not to get into too many specifics, I've always started from the ground up, working with word of mouth only. I see patients, I treat them with the compassion that I would treat my own family, and I definitely put the patient first. I put their needs first. I put their wants first, and then I can guide them accordingly. And then I've always only relied on interpersonal relationships, building the trust with the patient. And I never really knew where to start when it came to outside marketing. I tried a couple different things. I tried some search engine optimization. I worked with some groups that would basically try to bring me to the top of Google. They all priced me out. I mean, it didn't seem like something that, I really wanted to do. I didn't want to just bring patients in mass. I wanted them to know what they were going to be experiencing when they got to my office, and I wanted them to want to come and not just like appear as the first person and then just have them just expect that I was just like everybody else. I wanted to build something that was kind of a hybrid between just the purely word of mouth and also having a presence. Like I wanted to have a presence, but I didn't want to have these big ads on TV and the radio and stuff like that. Mostly because I couldn't afford it, but also because I didn't want to just have, come see this guy, blue light special. You can come see him, and, you Groupon and all these things. I was not interested in any of that kind of stuff. So I wanted to have something that felt more real, more wholesome, where I can get my information out there and get my mission out there, and in a quality way, as opposed to just a quantity kind of just see how many people I can get. Like, let's see how many clicks I can get. I wanted people to come in the office already knowing that they were going to, receive, me and my team and almost know what their experience was going to be before they even came in. That's where, I've really, really seen Polish Your Business get just blow it out of the water. I mean, they just knock it out of the park over the last 3 years, the reviews I've gotten from patients, the reviews they've written for me online, how they've been coming in when I ask them, they've been seeing the content. They already know a lot before they even come and sit in the chair. And they've even told me that they've already learned a lot from the videos and from things they've seen before even coming in for their first visit.
That's amazing. And thank you for sharing your perspective. It all starts with the practice owner themselves, because what people don't realize, they sometimes hire us, or they have actually the first consultation is with me. And they ask me, what do you recommend? What should what should I do? What's the best? And I always tell people the best way to start is to have a conversation with the most important person, which is the person you see in the mirror. What actually feels right to you? Is this something that you would like to build and have a franchise and multiple locations and really scale it up? Is this something that you feel like it should be more of a family location that is going to be, with a different vibe? What is important for you? Because at the beginning, we need to establish what the value is, and then capture that value and show it to people. And this is something that was very evident with you, is that you care about the patient. You care about their experience more than caring about just simply multiplying numbers on the spreadsheet. And right away, that also was very evident that you are in alignment with our mission to promote integrative healthcare, because I was surprised that so many things can actually be part of a dental practice. I didn't know that you can have so many things like you have right now. And what was interesting to me is when I actually experienced your office, walking into the office, seeing all the cool stuff. And like the beginning, when you had this, 3D printing room, and not all of this was dentistry, because you also had you were playing with this, multiple different ways. And I'm like, wow, isn't this the future of dentistry? And that was the beginning of the specific wording that we have on the website right now, bringing the future of dentistry to you. So I think the key is to be able to define what is it that you want as a healthcare practice owner, and then have somebody capture it, show it to people. And it's very evident that with your practice, that's something that you're also very good doing, meaning that when we record with you, you are the same Dr. Steinweg that I see in the office. You're not a different person. You're not changing. And I want to compliment you, because you, at the beginning, when we talked about strategies that have a long-term outlook, you understood that this is more like playing chess, that we need to think a few steps ahead. And then you said, yeah, if that's what you recommend, that's what we're going to do. And, 3 years later or so, it's amazing to see and look back and see all the things working for you and actually working for your patients, because I know you care about your patients even more than you care about yourself. As a byproduct, the office, of course, grew as well. So I wanted to ask you from the start, how was your experience before when it comes to marketing? You mentioned some SEO, you mentioned some, I wanted people to understand that the hurdles that they have to jump, that you also had them yourself. You didn't have a, super clean path and everything just magically showed up.
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't have a strategy at all. And then the companies that I worked with, they really didn't have any specific strategy either. They just said, these are the tiers that you can do, and you'll just see it happen. And I didn't really see anything really tangible happen with the strategies that you've given me. I've seen the organic growth. It's almost like an organic growth of patient flow, more new patients. I've received a lot of new patients, new clients over the last 3 years and I don't ask them specifically, like, how did you hear about us? I've kind of gotten away from being so salesy like that. I just, when I ask them, like, how did you, end up coming to our office? They'll tell us, they used to tell us, like, oh, the dentist I was seeing dropped my insurance. They don't mind telling us that. They'll tell us that right up front. They'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm here because my regular dentist dropped my insurance, and you guys take my insurance. I don't hear that as much anymore at all. And we're still asking, we'll get the same answer from a couple hundred people over 6 months because the dentist dropped their insurance. But then we'll see a period where we don't hear that at all. So I know that it is a combination of the word of mouth that I've always had, but also there's a secret sauce to it. There has to be. There's more every month coming in and telling us that they've seen a video, or they've heard about us, or they've looked up our reviews.
One more question that I have for you is the practice growth. So how all the things that you are doing, including some marketing and branding strategies. How does that help you grow the practice when we started versus right now?
I had been on a very steady, slow growth from acquiring the practice back in 2014, and then when I started working with Mike about 3 years ago, easily 30% growth in that short amount of time. 30% growth right away. Like over that 3 years, it's just been a tremendous growth, and I haven't done anything else different except for that.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I would like you to explain a little bit to our viewers and listeners what your practice has that is so special. Because, we are just showing the value that is, but the secret sauce is you. You have it in the practice and you put it together strategically. So help the viewers and listeners understand what your practice consists of. What are some of the treatment approaches that you have, some of the services that you have, and also what is I don't know if you can say this, but what is your secret combination? What is the secret sauce of combining some of them for the best outcomes for the patients?
Yeah, so to just be more general in healthcare and not so much in like the specifics of like dentistry, because like there might be some dentists out there watching this, but just have to say, you don't always have to reinvent the wheel, just to do it in any kind of field. But dentistry in particular has come from being very not scientific, really. I mean, it like dentistry had only started becoming scientific, I think probably like 30, 40 years ago. In the grand scheme of healthcare and other areas of medicine, I think that they've been pretty scientific. They followed the scientific method long before dentistry. Dentistry was more of like very basic, I don't want to compare it to, necessarily like construction work, but it was a lot more so of like, oh, this is how we've done it. This is how we've always done it. There wasn't a lot of like new developments and like empirical data being collected. But now in dentistry, it's completely the opposite. There's like a synergy happening where it's starting to integrate with things like, material science, regular medicine. There's starting to become a lot of parallels between dentistry and these other specialties in these other fields, where really it's like a synergy. Like the way that 3D printing has become so, integrated into dentistry. I mean, 3D printing has been around for a really long time compared to how long it's been in dentistry. So quickly we're being able to integrate other things into this field. It's very exciting. We're treating patients a lot differently, more based on like empirical data and research versus just, I don't want to dumb down too much of the past of dentistry, but it was really just like make a hole and put mercury in it. We've come a long way. Like that wasn't important for its time. It would help people maintain their teeth. So I'm not trying to talk down to previous generations of dentists or anything, but essentially that was most of what it was. It was metal restorations. It was mercury fillings and cleanings. And I mean, that was pretty much it. And in the last 30 to 40 years, there's been a tremendous shift into just what's actually the best for particular patients. What are the links between their health problems and the dentistry that they need and what they're going to be needing? And it's become a lot more tailored to a patient's specific needs as opposed to, drilling a hole and putting a filling in it. It's still a big part of our field, but it's not the only thing we do at all anymore.
Yeah. And it's fascinating because, like you say, it's part, of course, our body is not all these organs and systems that are in, separation. They all work together. And this is how integrative healthcare should work, right? So people can collaborate, work together. And
there's so much I can learn. There's so much I can learn from somebody. There's so much I could learn from a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much I could learn from a physical therapist. I mean, when I left dental school, for instance, with the TMJ, just a small example, the TMJ, they taught us in dental school, like, honestly, this is what they said. They said it's a very, very complicated joint, and there are a lot of problems that can arise, but that's something that you'll need to make proper referral for. And honestly, that's really the extent to which they did it. They went through a couple of the different dysfunctions and what they are, but in no way did they teach us how to treat it. There was zero information on how to treat it. And I mean, we talked about night guards, we talked about putting
Hmm.
appliances in the patient's mouth, but outside of that, we did not learn a single thing in my entire 4-year degree, doctorate degree, about how to treat something that we are affecting every day, doing fillings and crowns.
Right.
So
Wow.
there's so much that not only so much we can learn from our other fields, but there are things that we need to learn from other fields.
I love it. And also knowing, like you mentioned, chiropractors, physical therapists, every joint can be adjusted. TMJ can be adjusted. There could be symbiosis between dentistry and chiropractic where the same patient goes to both and then one refers to another. The same with functional medicine and the gum health, for example, how that can affect us systemically. A lot of patients don't know because it's not their job to know it all. But on the healthcare provider side, I'm very excited because I can see that there is a shift. There is a shift, and there's, a tiny percentage of providers comparatively is really truly with the mindset they're integrated. They're integrative, right? And I love how your approach is that you not only integrate different treatments within the office, but you're also not only aware, but also active, with the collaborative opportunities and learning from different fields. It is fascinating. And I think for you watching and listening, you can see that this is something that really displays as value that has to be captured. I'm looking at this, I'm listening to this, I'm learning from this, and I'm thinking, okay, I can use the power of our team to capture the value that I see and feel in the office from Dr. Steinweg, show it to people. So before they even come to the office, they will be able to learn, understand that there could be a different approach, because otherwise everybody looks the same. Dentist, Clarksville, Maryland, and now you have a lot of people who can show up on Google. How do you know which one is good and which one just invested tons of money in, marketing tactics to basically get people in the door and show that they have a lot of reviews, but are they actually good? So when I see a gem like you and your office and your practice, it's really a pleasure for us to capture the value, show it to people. How do we do it? One of the ways that we do it is we do it on video, and then we have different segments of educational videos that allow people to understand the value that you provide. So maybe in context of videos, you can let our viewers know what are some of the things that you integrate within the practice as part of the scope of your services.
As far as like kind of the TMJ and the facial pain treatments and things, we offer things like Botox to treat that. That's something that a lot of people out there might not know that dentists do, or
Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they can go to a dentist like me or my colleagues that deliver it, and they can get aesthetics done, but it's also can be problem focused. Some patients they're not sure if they want to spend the money on that, if it's just something that is like aesthetic, but they're dealing with pain on a regular basis, muscle tension and joint pain and things like that. And they can come to our office for more of like a tailored approach for like just that, or they can come for aesthetics. There have to be millions of people that would be interested in that, but you wouldn't find them going into an aesthetic, med spa. You wouldn't. Like if they knew they could go somewhere and get something therapeutic from somebody like, a dentist that they would see twice a year, they would be much more likely to go for that purpose than going to like a med spa or something like that. Those places are amazing, but like they do great things for people, but they need to know that the dentist can provide that for only that purpose, because you wouldn't see them spending that money just to like make themselves look better. They want to feel better.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, nothing at all against like places that are aesthetically driven. I mean, those places are awesome, but there's a fair amount of people who aren't attracted to that particular thing with their budget, but they still need help.
Yes. So Botox, that's one of the examples that was very surprising for me, that you're integrating that when it comes to function and helping your patients, with something that otherwise I would think dentistry is not really like, is that the future of dentistry? And it actually is. What are some of the other things that you integrate? If you could talk a little bit more about the implants, for example, talking about the 3D printing, the futuristic stuff that I was so excited to see in the office. I really would like people to understand a little bit more about the scope of services in a integrated practice like yours versus just, going to a traditional approach dentistry. What's different?
Kind of looking at dentistry is more of like a function over time as opposed to, you have high blood pressure, so we're going to give you this medication and we're going to recommend exercise and we're going to recommend diet change and things like that. No, for dentistry, it's more like functionally, what are we seeing going on over several years? What do we need to do to help to maintain the dentition for a longer period of time? We see a lot of wear and tear in the mouth, and it's not so much of like, you break a tooth, we fix it. You break another tooth, we fix it. Because we want to find out, like, why are you breaking the tooth? Why are we doing all these treatments? Is there anything we can do to improve the amount of dentistry that you're going to get? That's why we offer, the silver diamine fluoride for the patients that are high cavity risk. We want to make sure that we're not just, okay, you got another cavity, we're going to drill it. And then next visit, we're going to do it again to a different tooth and a different tooth and a different tooth. We're going to get to the bottom of why, and anything we can do to kind of reduce the amount of dentistry you're going to get while also being proactive. It's the way to see the function of the teeth be better, and be over several years, we see less dentistry being done.
Yes. And with the approach like this, like you mentioned, the finding the cause versus just treating the symptom and going a little bit deeper, this is the same approach that functional medicine doctors have, the same approach that chiropractors have. And that's something that I want people to understand, that when it comes to building a brand, this is something that we wanted to convey to people on the outside. So couple of things that could be actionable steps for somebody watching or listening. What could you do if you have something that is very special, that is different, that you would like to show people? What is it that you have in your healthcare practice? A couple of practical tips. Number one, what I would recommend is recording videos, educational videos, demonstrations, showing people on the outside before they even come to you to learn about the difference between your approach and somebody else's approach. Also, looking at the same piece of content, so one video, a lot of times in the old school marketing space, and this is something that some people still do, which I'm surprised, is when there is a video, some people are going to look at, okay, I'm going to use this video in ads, I'm going to invest some budget, and we're going to just put some money behind this video, and then the money goes out, and then the people should be coming in, or the leads should be coming in. First of all, I never like calling patients leads. I never want to be treated as a lead when I'm going to a healthcare provider, and it just didn't feel right from the beginning. At the same time, I tell people that even if we look at money invested and time invested, and then the new patients coming in, I tell people to change the position of their hand this way, because you can have 5 different returns on investment from one single video content. So something to consider for you if you produce videos, or if you're considering, is the video can serve as your educational tool. It can save you time. So it could be time-saving benefit, because your team can take this video and you can check out Clarksville Crossing Dental YouTube channel to see how some of Dr. Steinweg's videos are getting unbelievable amount of views, and they're not paid views. These are all organic. So time-saving benefits. So you can get some instructions, post-op instructions, educational videos. Then the same video, the third component could be the SEO benefit. So if a video on YouTube is optimized for search engines, we will be able to also see that video on Google searches. And if it's linked to Google Business Profile, and then Google Business Profile also links that particular post with YouTube, with a call to action, learn more, then the internet marketing ecosystem starts realizing that both the YouTube channel and the Google Business Profile are more important, more relevant, and they want to show the viewer the relevant results, which they're going to bring both of them up. If there is a website attached to it, the website goes up with it as well. And this is something that is a very unique and different approach, because it's not something that requires you to pay Google directly, or pay Facebook directly, or Instagram or YouTube. This is something that can happen organically. So the SEO benefit as well. Another benefit could be that you can get new patients from that video. There could be a link to your website, and there should be in the YouTube description. People can learn where you are, and then come to you, to your office. Another benefit from video is that video could be the brand building. The process of building a brand is the process of creating a feeling that will help people decide to choose you. So if you want to create a feeling and you are just doing, I don't know, something like a blog post or maybe an image, it's hard to convey a feeling, make people feel a certain way. It's much easier and better to do it on video when you have the audio and video, and people will be able to hear you, feel you, and connect with you. And especially when it comes to healthcare, they already can feel like they know you, even though they never met you. So there could be another benefit, that a simple video, instead of looking at this one ROI, just identifying 5 different ROIs, and then the same video, we can go on and on and on, could be repurposed now to social media clips and can serve as the social media content without bothering the doctor to record something separate, because it could just be repurposed. Another thing is the video could be used in an email. So, for example, your staff could take this video, send it in an email, could be transferred as a blog, etc., etc., etc. So thinking about the mindset shift when it comes to marketing and organic versus paid ads, I think it's pretty important. And I wanted to give a few practical tips this way. Now, coming back to the owner's perspective, to you, Dr. Steinweg, how do you see that strategy? Because we just talked about a portion of what we do for you in terms of time and money, because these are the two things that typically are a big block. You say, okay, is this going to be expensive? And how much time do you need from me to actually execute on this strategy? Let's talk about these two problems that people typically have with marketing.
Yeah, no, and I'll just start off by saying, to anybody out there, I never saw myself doing these videos. I never saw myself doing that. And I have to say, I was in a lot of theater in high school. I did a lot of I was a thespian society member, and I would be in 2 plays every year, and I had no problem being on stage. But even myself, when it came to being in a video that was going to be posted on the internet, I felt uncomfortable. And you would think that me being on stage and being comfortable up there, I would be fine. But something about recording myself, recording my voice, because some people don't like the sound of their own voice. I don't love the sound of my own voice. I was nervous about it, but I have to tell you, it just to demystify this, his staff makes it so easy to talk on these videos, and his staff helps, like Mike's staff helps, lead you through the video recording to the point where you just feel like you're having a conversation, and they just help guide you through, okay, this is how what you said would help convey the point, and here's how you might want to drive it home. I mean, it's not somebody standing there with a camera. This is a big point. I just have to make sure I share this. It's not just somebody standing with the camera saying, go. Imagine somebody just coming in, quietly setting up their camera and their lights and just sitting there and saying, okay, we're recording, go. And then you have to do some awesome video that's going to bring people into your medical or dental or whatever business he's working on with you. They make it very easy. They make it very, very easy that, it's not easy. I mean, it takes some time. It takes, a couple hours, maybe 2-3 hours, but it's not a couple hours a week. It's a couple hours every few months. And it gets repurposed. It gets reused in different ways where you're feeling like you're watching 20 different videos. It's really amazing. I have to say, it's really amazing how they repurpose these things. That's reels. You don't have to sit there once a week and try to think up topics and sit there for 2-3 hours, because nobody has time for that. The way they repurpose this stuff, it makes a plethora of videos and information that can get out there and get shared.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, because I sometimes don't realize how important it is to really keep in mind people's perspective, because not everybody is naturally good on camera. And even people who appear good on camera, on the inside, they may not feel super comfortable. You always actually, from the beginning, you actually looked very comfortable and you presented very confidently. So if you didn't tell us, we wouldn't even know that there is anything going on the kind of like behind the scenes that could potentially be a block. And there is a big difference having somebody come to your office with a camera versus inviting Weston or a video producer, right? So we are talking about video producer versus a person who's just going to capture the video recording. And this is something that I also learned along the way, that there are different ways of doing this and making people feel comfortable. Is I'm glad that that's something that is appreciated by clients, and that's something that could be for you watching or listening, could be a good tip. When you invite to record, you look for a video producer versus just a person with a camera.
Yeah, if you think you can't do it, if you have any doubt in your head that you can't do this, you just remove all that doubt, because they make it so you will come out of your shell and you will figure out how to get your point across, even if that's not your strong suit, standing there and doing a monologue. They will just help you break out of that so easily. So you don't have to be, nervous about, like, oh, that won't work for me. I've never recorded video in my life. Honestly, I had never recorded anything like that. I mean, I had been on stage, but it had been years since I had used any of those skills. And the way that they just make everything flow. The point of the producer being there and not just somebody with the camera and a microphone it makes it such a different experience recording these videos.
Thank you for sharing that. And everything is in the context. Just like with dentistry is in the context of overall health. The same with producing a video. Why do we even do it, and which video we should produce, for whom, what is the purpose of it? Because otherwise we would be unintentionally wasting your time or wasting a provider's time. So what we do, just for people watching and listening, if they wonder what is the structure behind it, there is, at the beginning of our campaign, we do a proper, we call it campaign setup. And with the setup, we identify the target audience, we identify the objectives, strategic objectives, what should happen over time, what do we want to accomplish, which then helps us identify which videos may be more important, what type of messages, which content, and we train our team to edit with all of that in mind, because if they know what's important for Dr. Steinweg, then it's going to be much better for us to produce something that will actually be integrated into a business model. So we have the framework of these three words that start with I, but it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the client, even though it says I, right? So it's innovation, implementation, and integration. So innovation would be helping the client, like Dr. Steinweg, realize that there are different innovative strategies, ideas, because they don't have time to research. They should have time to research dentistry, but not necessarily research the marketing or business development tactics. So innovation is something that can come to you externally. But innovation without implementation is just an idea. And I'm sure we have plenty of those, but they're not implemented. Then implementation, the I in the middle, this is where you can have a healthcare provider who just says, you know what, that sounds good, but who's going to do it? And then we say, all we need is, for example, 2 hours this month from you to record content. Can you do it? Yes, I can do it. Then it gets implemented. The third component is something that we actually, for the first couple of years of our business, we actually ignored, and we thought that this is the job of the client to integrate what we implemented in their business development model. And that was a mistake that I learned as an operator in my company, because integration can also come from an external source. So we are asking Dr. Steinweg, what is important for you this month, this quarter? What are the topics that would bring you the patients that you want to see? And now we actually integrate the videos in the business development model as well. And I think this is the key to have all three, because sometimes you can have a business development objective, growing, opening another office, creating a franchise, something very big or something small. I just want more people with, who need dental implants to know about me this month. From the objective, we can go back to what needs to be implemented, and then go back to innovation. How can we actually give some ideas to implement that? And that process at the beginning takes a little bit of time to set up, nothing crazy. But then, like right now, Dr. Steinweg, if we wanted to assess how much time, like actual time, is needed for you in an average month, this month we had a couple more meetings, but average month, how much time do you have to give polish your business?
So probably, I mean, it's pretty scant, but they work with it. I mean, I probably have an extra 3 to 4 hours outside of the video shoot where I could do a meeting here and there, but they don't even ask that of me. I think probably we do like one video shoot for 2 to 3 hours once a quarter, and probably meetings maybe once a month at the most. So, I mean, honestly, for like an hour a month of the time on average, we can get a lot done. They can get a lot done.
Thank you for sharing that. This is something that was my dream to accomplish because we were not as efficient before. And I know that providers don't have time. Nobody has time. So at the beginning, did we have more meetings? For sure. There was this setup process. We needed to understand what is the vision, what is the mission of the company, all these things. But right now, 3 years in, or like we talked about our anniversary right now, it's pretty beautiful because it's easy for the provider. It's actually easy for us as well. We know the expectations. We know what we need to do. And then we don't want to ask for too much time. If something is important, yes, of course, we can do the injection of value, ask for a little bit of time. But in general, we try to switch the regular campaign to something that we call a maintenance model. And that's something that if this is a strategy that you are going to be implementing with a company, not with our company, ask that company if there is flexibility, if there is a ramp off to switch to something that is as needed or on a maintenance level that it doesn't take too much time, because money sometimes is actually not as big of a problem, because with a very successful healthcare practice, usually, that can be justified very easily, but time is a big problem because the busier you are, the bigger your practice is, time can be, a very important factor to consider. So I just want to share these tips that if you want to hire somebody, evaluate an agency, ask what is the structure. Is this something that is a month to month or long-term contract that you cannot get out of? How much time is needed? Now, talking about the money aspect, which is the less comfortable aspect for people to talk about, but I do want to bring it to people's attention because I want people to understand that this doesn't necessarily have to be something that you're losing sleep over. So you don't have to say the exact number, but when you were to assess, even from the beginning, there was more intense to right now, what is the comfort level when it comes to how much we charge?
Right. And for me, it's like, at least initially, and there have to be other people like me, it's like, what am I doing this for? Like, what am I paying this for? Like, I sure hope I'm getting my money's worth, like any person would ask that. But like, especially like when you're a small business, essentially, and you're sitting there saying, like, I hope that I'm doing this for the right reason. And I hope I'm not throwing away money. I mean, we've all asked ourselves that, and I have to say, other people I've worked with thought I might be doing that. Didn't really have anything tangible to really show for the money being spent. When it comes to, people like Mike and his company, there's no question that the value is far higher than the fee. I mean, really. And it's more than I would have ever expected for that fee. I mean, I used to pay close to it just to have a little bit of optimization, which I couldn't even really quantify, like how many. I mean, you can see how many clicks you got, but you don't really know how many true, relationships with patients or you form from that. So I would just say my comfort level on what I spend every month is not real high on that kind of stuff. I have to say, I'm not really comfortable spending a lot of money on that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm busy regardless, being like a dentist, like my hands are in a lot of the operations of the office day to day. Like I could definitely keep myself busy doing busy work very easily. But the whole point was I want to bring in certain procedures, certain things that are going to like kind of lead me to things I'm more interested in doing at different times. I'm happy to treat everyone and do everything, but there like it got to the point where now I get to sit back and say, this is really becoming more like floating down a river now. We're on maintenance, patients are coming, every once in a while we do a little bit more content. It's all becoming very like just very, very easy, very simple for me to keep up with. And I never feel like, oh, that fee I'm paying per month, like, am I really using that? Am I really utilizing that to its fullest? There's never been a question. So I don't lose sleep over it at all. Which is just, it's so refreshing because I used to lose sleep over everything.
I myself, I am very aware that anything and everything that we do has a risk. Sometimes risks are negative, which are the obvious ones. Sometimes they're positive, which are actually opportunities. when I look at what typically happens in marketing for a dental practice, for a healthcare practice, this is actually extremely risky, because when you do that with ads, let's say you spend 10K on ads and it didn't work. What happens to the 10K? It's completely gone. You literally have to start over. And sometimes you actually did some damage because maybe you pissed off some people by a very aggressive, marketing campaign that actually hurt your brand, because now you showed up as, as this healthcare provider that is like, hey, come here before it's gone. And then with the clock, I never like these type of, marketing tactics for a healthcare practice. So the way that I'm approaching our service, and actually any service that you listening or watching could hire or do for yourself, is that it should be risk management friendly. Anything that you do, you should keep. So if you invested money in videos, then you should keep those videos. These videos should be accumulating value. The video that we did with Dr. Steinweg, and by the way, this is so awesome for me to watch, because at the beginning, he said, I was looking at these people who have content online, and I'm like, how do they do it? And now we are showing Dr. Steinweg, his YouTube channel, and the number one video actually crossed 100,000 views without us paying anything for these views. Another video chasing it with 50,000+ views. We are looking at this stuff and we are very proud, because the way that he communicates is very important for people to consume, not only locally, but also in the internet space, also on West Coast, in other areas. And then if Dr. Steinweg one day decides to open multiple different offices, think about the impact of having a YouTube channel that now other offices can plug in and connect, and one YouTube channel can serve multiple locations, can serve multiple service centers. And that's something that I'm thinking about in terms of risk management, that if you have something that maybe didn't bring too many patients at the beginning, because when you do a branding campaign, it doesn't really bring a ton of patients tomorrow, but then long term, it not only stays with you, it has this compounding effect that now affects positively the SEO, patient acquisition, patient education, time-saving benefits, and the other ROIs that we discussed before. So that's something that I wanted people to consider as well, because I believe it's important to do marketing in a way that also feels good, that you can be yourself as a practitioner, communicating in the way that you actually communicate in the office. So when the patient comes in, they see the same Dr. Steinweg they saw on video, and they feel like they already know you. And I think that's pretty powerful.
Very powerful. And I mean, this is the guy right here that had 3 online reviews after 7 years of working. 7 years of working in business and trying to do my best to treat my patients right and things like that. I didn't come from a point where I was already worried about getting reviews and had a big internet presence. So if you don't have an internet presence at all, or if you already have a pretty decent internet presence, I mean, these kinds of services are definitely for you. Whoever can provide this kind of level of personalized service to get you from, no matter what stage you're at, even if you're like, I've never had a review, or you already have a couple hundred reviews on there, I literally had 3 reviews, and I think even one of them was from the previous owner, because I didn't change the name. Because I didn't even change the name when I bought the business. So I just kept it the same. Even one of the reviews wasn't even about me. So that's how little I was doing. And when you look how far I've come in just these 3 years, thanks to them.
How many reviews do you have right now, Dr. Steinweg?
I think I have at least 100, right?
Over 100 right now. So this is the beauty.
Crazy.
And how difficult is the process of getting these reviews for you right now?
Written reviews, I would say given that I don't give the patients a QR code or ask them to write us a review, it's just something I always hesitate to do. I don't. Mm-hmm. I know I'm supposed to, and I'm coached that I'm supposed to, but I even haven't jumped off that because I'm still just a little bit uncomfortable being like, hey, I'm glad you had a good experience. Would you tell other people about it, please? I just haven't reached that point where I'm that confident to do it. So that just speaks volumes for what's just happening in the background, just organically happening in the background. I'm not doing any of this tell them to write us a review before they leave. Here, give them an iPad, tell them to write us the review before they leave, or like us on Facebook, mm-hmm. or follow us on Instagram or whatever. We're not doing anything internally like that, even though I probably should be. It probably would make it even better. but I'm not even feeling the push to do it because of how well it's working.
I think the key is to do something that doesn't take too much of your time. And right now you can see that if people actually find you online, they maybe found you on Google. Now they understand that it's important for them to write a review on Google. So from 3 reviews after years of practice, and then, getting to 100 plus, it is awesome. And especially if you could do it without even having a big strategy to ask and, engage your team members or a company to do any kind of tricks, to ask people to do reviews, that's very, very good. The last aspect that I wanted to bring to people's attention is keeping in mind that it's important to have a team of people who have their respective specialties. And ideally, that team should be managed by somebody. So the way that branding campaigns work typically is that people could do branding, but it's not necessarily connected to business development. So now you need somebody who is going to be on the strategic consulting level, grabbing the branding strategies, combining it with what's important on the business development side. And that's usually a separate function or a separate person. Then if the video gets posted on social media, on YouTube, also there needs to be a proper thumbnail. You can look up Clarksville Crossing Dental on YouTube to see the thumbnails that Dr. Steinweg has. And so there needs to be graphic designer or graphic design project that is going to be also integrated here. Now you're talking also about the video production, right? So somebody producing a video, somebody who's going to do the content writing the captions for social media, and then strategically thinking about words that could be discovered by these search engines. On top of it, we have somebody actually managing these social media accounts. And if there are comments, the assistant sending Dr. Steinweg a list of comments to reply. So when you look at the team aspect, grabbing an opportunity that allows you to have the whole team, but without paying for the whole team separately. And I think this is the aspect that I would like for people to really consider is look for agencies. And I would love for you listening to this to work with us. In case you already have an agency, customize the service that is done in a way that you have a team that all these functions that are needed, the strategic consulting, business development, networking, connecting you with people, all this stuff, social media, content writing, management, video production, all of it combined, and then combined ideally with SEO to have Google communicate with YouTube and bring the Google business profile up. So you can actually type in Google Clarksville MD Dentist and see how difficult it will be for you to find Dr. Steinweg's Clarksville Crossing Dental. Well, as of today, I will tell you, to save your time, is that it is #1 organic listing. Not just the website, but it's also #1 on maps. We're very proud because Dr. Steinweg is not charged thousands of dollars for organic SEO. This is something that happens as a result of a good strategy. So that's something that I wanted to bring to people's attention, is that there actually needs to be different functions that are managed in a cohesive way to give you the results that meet your strategic goals. And that's something that we are proud to implement for people. And of course, if that's something that you're interested in, connect, ask questions. Today, it was important for me to bring Dr. Steinweg to the picture because it's not us telling you about the service. I would like you to experience the business owner who is truly as busy as you can imagine. Dr. Steinweg is ultra busy, and he has the family life and the business life, both of them integrated together. So he doesn't have any extra time. I really wanted you to learn from him. And today, Dr. Steinweg, big thank you for sharing your perspective. It's really important.
Oh, of course, I needed to do that, because in general, like patients are going to benefit. Everybody wins when we get the right people together, the right minds together, integrating different fields together, and so people know about that. People know about that approach. So in the end of the day, like it helps the business owner, it helps us treat our patients better. It's all around. It's been an amazing experience.
That's awesome. Thank you, Dr. Steinweg. Have a wonderful day. And for people who want to connect with you, where can they find you? What is the best way to connect with you?
So anybody who wants to get in touch with us, you can check our website, clarksvillecrossingdental.com, and there you'll have links to our YouTube channel, you'll have links to Facebook and to Instagram, and you can see a little bit more about the team. Also, our contact information is there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening and watching as well. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.